Prepare to have your mind blown, because what you're about to hear will challenge everything you think you know about the oceans. Many believe we've already unraveled Earth's greatest mysteries, that science has all the answers, but I assure you, that's one of the biggest illusions we've been told. What if I told you there's a sound, a scream coming from the abyssal depths, so powerful it was picked up thousands of kilometers away, a sound that terrified scientists and that, to this day, no one can explain? Yes, it exists, and it's living proof that the unknown still reigns supreme beneath the waves. Have you ever felt frustrated by not understanding something, by having an unanswered question, by feeling that there is something much bigger and more complex than what is presented to us? This is the pain of those who seek the truth, of those who are not content with superficial explanations. Well, today, we're going to dive headfirst into this abyss of uncertainty, and in a few minutes you will acquire knowledge that few have access to, a perspective that will change the way you see our planet. Forget what you've been told about the bottom of the sea. Reality is much more bizarre and fascinating than any fiction. Bloop isn't just a sound, it's a portal to a universe of possibilities that science is still struggling to understand. It's the melody of a mystery that defies logic, making us question the very existence of colossal creatures and inexplicable phenomena, and the reward for embarking on this journey with us. The chance to unravel, together with me, the ocean's best-kept secrets, to feel part of something grand and to expand your mind beyond the limits of the known curious, to know what really lies hidden in the depths. Then hold on tight, because the truth is stranger than you imagine. Imagine yourself in 1997, a year that seemed ordinary, but which held a profound secret beneath the waters. It was during this period that the United States National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the American agency responsible for monitoring our oceans, captured something that would turn everything known about the seabed upside down. A sound, my friends, of colossal proportions, so intense that it was recorded by hydrophones more than 5,000 kilometers away. Think of the magnitude of that. It wasn't a simple noise. It was an unprecedented acoustic phenomenon, a veritable scream coming from an abyss whose surface we have barely begun to scratch. The most intriguing thing about this sound, which became known as the bloop, was its nature. It seemed organic, as if it came from a living being, but with a power that defied any known creature. Not even the majestic blue whale, the giant of the oceans, would be capable of producing something so strong and consistent. This established the central mystery. If it wasn't an animal we know, and if it wasn't a common geological event, what the heck was it? It's like being in a game of chess and suddenly a completely new and unknown piece appears on the board, changing all the rules. This situation forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth. However much humanity strives to map and catalogue the world, there are still vast areas of pure unknown. The bloop is a sonic reminder that nature holds secrets that surpass our wildest imagination. It invites us to intellectual humility, to recognize that our knowledge is just a drop in the ocean. And this openness to what we don't know is, paradoxically, the first step towards profound and transformative learning, to unravel the next enigmas that the world presents to us. With the detection of the bloop, the scientific community found itself at an impasse. The first reaction, of course, was to try to fit this sound into some already known category. They tried everything. Was it an underwater earthquake? No, the seismic pattern didn't match a glacier breaking apart. A grand natural phenomenon? Also no, the acoustic signature was completely different, lacking the expected intensity and structure, and an explosion perhaps from some underwater volcanic activity. Not a chance. The bloop was a continuous, prolonged sound, almost like a lament of the ocean, very different from something abrupt and violent. It was like having all the pieces of a puzzle, but none of them fit into the image that was forming. This scientific frustration was palpable. The bloop defied all recorded acoustic standards, creating a true void in knowledge. Imagine the feeling of being faced with a mystery that simply refuses to be categorized, that breaks all the rules. It's as if you were a detective with all the clues, but none of them lead to a known suspect. This singularity of sound deepened the enigma, transforming the bloop not only into an inexplicable noise, but into a symbol of our own limitations in the face of the vastness and complexity of the natural world. This situation teaches us a powerful lesson about the pursuit of knowledge. Sometimes the greatest breakthrough doesn't come from finding the right answer, but from recognizing that the questions we ask are insufficient. Just as a successful entrepreneur doesn't cling to a plan that doesn't work, but pivots and seeks new solutions, science needs to be willing to reevaluate its paradigms. The bloop wasn't just a sound. It was an invitation to go beyond what is already known, to accept that the unknown is fertile ground for new discoveries and for expanding our understanding of the universe. And this expansion leads us to imagine what else might lie behind this mystery. With science lacking clear answers, the human mind, always eager to fill in the gaps, began to weave its own narratives. And it is here that the story of the bloop takes on even more fascinating contours, mixing the real with the fantastic. The lack of an official explanation opened up a huge space for bolder theories, those that make us question the limits of our reality. Consider the possibility of unknown creatures, colossal beings inhabiting the unexplored depths, awaiting the right moment to manifest themselves. This idea, however fictional it may seem, is not so far-fetched when we consider that we know less about the ocean floor than about the surface of Mars. What makes this speculation even more intriguing is the connection between the bloop and Point Nemo. For those who don't know, Point Nemo is the most isolated place on Earth, the inaccessible pole of the Pacific, a true aquatic desert where human presence is almost non-existent. The idea that such a powerful and mysterious sound could come from this remote and forgotten location ignited the popular imagination like a fuse. Could there be something in that vast and unexplored stretch of the South Pacific? An ancient creature, a submerged base, an echo of something that shouldn't be there. Human curiosity is an unstoppable force, and Point Nemo has become the perfect stage for the wildest speculations. This search for explanations leads us to fertile ground where science and fiction intertwine in surprising ways. Think of H.P. Lovecraft, the master of cosmic horror, who in his stories described ancient creatures slumbering in the depths of the seas, awaiting the moment to awaken. And, almost prophetically, the submerged and fictional city of Relia, home of the fearsome Cthulhu, was located at coordinates frighteningly close to where the bloop was detected. Coincidence, literary premonition, or is it that the imagination of some artists somehow manages to capture echoes of truths that science is not yet ready to unveil? It is a powerful reflection on how art can sometimes prepare us for what reality will still show us. Faced with so much speculation and pressure for an answer, the United States National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, after years of silence that only fueled the most outlandish theories, finally spoke out. Consider the anticipation. What would official science say about this mystery that defied logic? In 2012, almost 15 years after the detection of the bloop, they published an update suggesting that the sound could have been caused by an ice quake, that is, an intense movement of ice, like the breaking off of a huge glacier. At first glance, this explanation seemed to bring relief, a closure to the enigma, fitting it into a known natural phenomenon. But was it really that simple? This is where the story of the bloop becomes even more intriguing, and the explanation begins to show its cracks. There's a crucial detail, a but, we can't ignore. The sound of the bloop was recorded more than 3,000 kilometers off the coast of Antarctica, in an area where no large glaciers have been identified nearby. That already raises a red flag, doesn't it? Furthermore, why did we only hear something like that once? Why has a sound of that intensity never been recorded again? No other icequake has been as loud and peculiar as the bloop, which makes the explanation somewhat too convenient. And there's another problem in this attempt at a solution: the acoustic behavior of the sound. Experts have noted that the structure of the bloop is excessively similar to biological patterns, sounds of animal origin, but on a colossal scale, something much larger than any creature ever recorded. It's as if nature is playing a trick on us, or rather, showing us that there is still much to be discovered and that easy explanations are not always the true ones. This persistence of biological characteristics in the sound, without a living being to justify them, leaves us at a delicate point between what science tries to explain and what reality insists on keeping mysterious. Even with the attempt to provide an explanation, which, as we have seen, left many loose ends and raised more questions than answers, the bloop remains a vibrant mystery, a constant echo that has rekindled interest in the ocean depths. It is not just a sound, it is a powerful reminder that the vast blue expanse beneath our feet holds unexplored secrets, secrets that are not easily revealed, that whisper and sometimes scream from the bottom of the sea. This persistence of the unknown is what moves us, what makes us want to go further, to explore what is hidden. It's like the search for a legendary treasure. With each clue, curiosity only increases, and the desire to unravel the enigma becomes even stronger. Each mysterious sound captured reminds us of a fundamental truth. We don't know everything. We don't dominate the ocean. We haven't explored its depths. And to be quite honest, we have no idea what lies beyond 5,000 meters of darkness and crushing pressure. Perhaps giant creatures worthy of legends are still there, swimming silently. Perhaps forgotten civilizations whose stories were never told rest on the seabed. Or perhaps, and this is a possibility that makes us think, it is simply the vastness of the unknown laughing at our curiosity, showing us our own insignificance in the face of nature's grandeur. This reflection invites us on a journey that is not only external, but internal. Just as the bloop makes us question what is in the ocean, it also provokes us to question what is within ourselves, what we have not yet explored in our potential. It is an invitation to embrace the unknown, to not be afraid to ask questions without easy answers. Because in the end, the greatest discoveries, whether scientific or personal, often arise from the courage to admit that we don't know everything and the humility to keep searching. And this search, my friend, is what makes life an unforgettable adventure. So what do you think the bloop was? A colossal undiscovered creature, a natural phenomenon that escaped our understanding, or the echo of something we perhaps shouldn't have heard? That's the beauty of the unknown, the force that drives us to go further, to not accept the obvious. Think about it. How many times in your life have you encountered a personal bloop, a mystery, a challenge that seemed unsolvable? How you deal with these enigmas is what defines your journey. Do you settle for the first explanation, or do you dive deep to uncover the truth, even if it's frightening? Life, like the ocean, is vast and full of unexplored depths, and the greatest lesson the bloop teaches us isn't about a mysterious sound, but about our own capacity to question, to search, to expand the limits of our knowledge. If you truly want to change your life, you need to start looking into your own abysses, with the same curiosity and courage that science uses to try to unravel the bloop. What are you waiting for to dive into your own depths and discover the treasures and mysteries that reside within you? The time to act is now, to not settle for the shallows. Don't let the superficiality of life stop you from exploring what truly matters. If you feel challenged, if this story ignited a flame of curiosity and a desire to go further, then you're on the right track. And if you want more stories like this, where science and mystery intersect in the depths, where knowledge that few share is revealed, subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and share it with that friend who loves an unsolved enigma. Because sometimes the answers to life's big questions aren't in the sky, but at the bottom of the sea, and within you.